Yeah, hey guys, this is Michael from My Cafe Supplies. We're here with Rita. She's a cafe coach here in Melbourne. We're actually in her office at the moment, upstairs, above the cafe. Just talking about a lot of different things Rita's really experienced. One of the things at My Cafe, we're looking to open a second location, and Rita's had quite a few, bought and sold quite a few cafes. What do you look for, Rita, when you're buying a cafe, or if you're advising someone who's going to buy one?
Well, that sounds very exciting. You know, you're starting a cafe. It's almost like having a new baby. I know that you are, having a new baby, so you're having a new business baby. So it's a very exciting time. But I think there's a few tips or a few things that I normally go. Okay, well, number one, please don't buy our emotions. So people often go by because they love the ambience or love the location or they love the coffee there. I normally go, okay, please do your numbers or do your due diligence. Make sure all the numbers stack up before you buy. So often I get people calling me saying, oh Rita, this place is fantastic, and they're actually willing. We've negotiated. They're willing to reduce for whatever the amount of money, $50,000 or $100,000. I think it's a really good deal. What do you think? Okay, so there was a lot of emotions that into it, and normally I just go, well, I have no opinion until you give me a checklist of all the numbers, and once you've done the verification process, and then I'll give you opinion how much this will be worth. So that would be the number one advice. Yep. Please don't buy emotions, buy if the numbers don't stack, walk away.
So what sort of numbers are you looking for?
The numbers, I have what we call pre-buy formula. Yep. So that will be involving in, first of all, how much is the business worth. Yep. So that will be what you'll be looking at. So sort of leading onto my number 2 point is that when you buy a cafe, do not go by what the asking price is. Yeah. Only go by what the value is. So often, I get.
Is it worse than buying a car?
It's worse than buying a car.
Like a used car?
Definitely worse.
Okay.
More traps. Buying a car, if it's not right, you can sell it. To sell a business that's not right, it's going to be a lot harder. Yes. And also often, you probably will know you are tied with the lease. Yes. Lease, it's not something you can just walk away. It's not like if you buy a car, if it didn't work, you can sell it, or you can just not driving it. Whereas a business, even if you shut the shop, you are still tied up by the rent, paying the lease. May it be $200 a week, which is what we call cheap rent, or $1,000 a week. So even if you shut the door, you don't trade, you still have to pay the lease for a period of time. So buying right is probably the most important sort of process to go through. Yep. So that formula is we go through, what are the takings you'll be looking at, and let's face it, it's a cash business. Yes. Cafe, 95% is cash business, or 90 to 95% of the cafe business out there are not able to produce verification for their numbers. But often they're asking you pay the highest numbers.
Oh, so they want you to pay for and telling you that they're getting this cash, and how do you know?
Well, you don't. 90 to 95% of the time, you were told this is the takings. I'm making how much money? You go, well, that's really good. I can, that's more than what I'm earning the wages in my current position. Yep. So I'm going to sack the boss, and I'll be the boss because I can put in the time and effort making more. But you need to make sure that is how much you're making. Because in most cases, you will not be able to get verification. That's
so you only go on the real figures.
Absolutely. Yeah. So that's another question, probably another big topic. What is the real numbers? So you've got to verify numbers, verify the takings, verify the wages, verify the lease, verify the cost of goods. So what's left is your profit.
Because if they're taking, if they're keeping the cash, more than likely that some of the staff are getting paid in the cash. So you're not really getting the real figures everywhere. That's right?
Absolutely, yeah. So there's just so many traps with the cash. Intake, cash outgoing. So until all of those are verified and exposed, I'm not saying don't buy the business that can't verify. I mean, unfortunately, that's just how the industry works. It's a cash business, so people do that. I certainly do not, promote that. But that's just the reality of the industry. So so verify the numbers and making sure you are paying, what the market price or below the market. Do not overpay. So that's probably one of the other advice that I'll be giving to a lot of people. So I'm sure, you know, having had a number of cafes yourself,
Yeah.
you'll be looking very closely. So being experienced, that's really great. But for someone who's never done it, they're looking at, you know, if they were told this is the takings, how are they going to verify that? So that would be a bit tricky, but there are a number of ways that you can do that. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Do you have like a rule of thumb? I want to pay 1.5 times the gross profit, or what do you have? Or EBIT, the earnings before interest and tax?
Yeah, the formula I normally apply is quite simple. There's a number of ways accountant does that. Normally I go how many times of profit.
Yep.
So and also I sort of divide the business between 5-day business versus 7-day business,
Yep.
and also the difference between the business that's owner operated
Yes.
versus fully managed, because that's completely different picture. So I don't think we've got a lot of time to go through that, but the valuation for those two types of businesses will be different. So just rule of thumb for a 5-day business, which is high in demand, everyone wants a lifestyle because you get Saturday, Sunday off. You know, everyone wants you know, a CBD business or business park, Monday to Friday, working on 10, 12 hours, and then that is, you know, you're probably looking at 2 to 3 times return, or 2 and 2.5 years return of the net profit.
Yep.
Whereas a 7-day business, then you know, you often, if you're on the operator, so the lifestyle is you know, a lot less than a 5-day business, therefore the value is less. So normally I've got about 1.5 years return to 2 years return would be what you'll be looking at.